Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Really appreciate it. I want you to first think about this statement. Mentoring has the power to change lives. It's a very, very important part of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a national mentoring organization with an excellent track record. Its roots go back over 100 years to 1904, when separate Big Brothers and Big Sisters organizations were formed to work with troubled youth. The two merged in 1977 and became Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. It is the carefully matched one-to-one mentoring relationships that make Big Brothers Big Sisters so powerful. With careful screening, interviews, and consideration of interests to make the best possible match, the mentoring relationship is made to endure and flourish. Beyond the careful matchmaking, the organization stays involved in each match to monitor progress and satisfaction of all concerned, the big, the little, and the family. They also provide advice and assistance to bigs, especially in the beginning when a volunteer is just learning what the mentoring program is all about. All of this careful adherence to high standards is what, in making a match, has paid off in creating mentorship relationships that last longer than some of the other mentoring programs in the country. My personal experience, it took more than a year for the program to match me with a little. I was interested in doing this because I felt I had the time in my life, I had just retired from teaching, to give back to the community by mentoring a young person. Even with my experience as a teacher, though, I was a bit nervous about the whole idea. My first thought when I went to meet my new little was, oh my, what if he doesn't like me? I bet he might be thinking the same thing. Well, it all turned out well. I started in the school-based program, where the mentor goes to the school and does it once a week for about an hour. It's really fun. We got together during recess and lunch, which gave us time to play board games, do artwork, learn some Japanese, go out on the playground and play baseball, whatever our fancy desired. Working in the school was actually a great way to start. We always ate together. I would bring a sack lunch each time so I could model nutritious eating rather than watching him eat one of those school lunches. I turned it into a game by creating weird sandwiches with unorthodox ingredients that he was supposed to guess. He usually got most of the ingredients correct, even when I put prunes on cheese, tomato, and lettuce and added nuts, and he liked them. Believe it or not. Isn't that true? To this day, he checks his sandwiches when I bring them to see what I put on them. Not that he thinks I'm going to poison him. I'm impressed with the healthy food he now eats. He's actually vegetarian. After eating, we usually went out on the playground. Did I just lose this thing? No. Okay, we usually went out on the playground for baseball practice. And we would end up with a whole bunch of other kids who wanted to play baseball with us. And it didn't take long for the other kids involved to know that I was Justice's big sister. And it turned out that was a pretty cool thing in elementary school. If I got to school a bit earlier than our appointed time, I had the teacher's permission to come into the classroom to sit with Justice. If he was busy or had to finish something, I wandered around the class helping other students with their math or vocabulary lessons. So the mentoring relationship actually benefited not only Justice, but his peers as well. After a year in the school-based program, we switched or added on the community-based program, especially in the summer, so we could do whatever we wanted to do in the community. You can even combine the school-based and the community-based during the same time period, which is what I did because meeting at school was so easy for both of us, but sometimes things came up that we wanted to do in the community. The community-based program opens up the world to your shared activities. Going to the movies, taking a hike, going out to lunch, visiting an alpaca llama ranch, kayaking, going up to my house for a hike, or just hanging out. Or going to the Kachemak Bay Research Reserve for an afternoon of science. Really, it's not just the activities that matter. What makes the impact is a caring adult who listens to the young person, is consistent, and helps the young person feel good about him or herself. It's the positive role model who has a real interest in a young person that makes the difference, that eventually shows up in more self-confidence, better grades, and improved social skills. It's a lot of these small things that add up to big changes. Big Brothers Big Sisters' mission is to help children reach their potential through one-to-one relationships with mentors that have measurable impact on youth. A research study was conducted in the mid-1990s involving 950 littles, and it showed that littles were more confident in their schoolwork performance, able to get along better with their families, 46% less likely to begin using illegal drugs, 27% less likely to begin using alcohol, and 52% less likely to skip school. The Big Brothers Big Sisters vision is successful mentoring relationships for all children who need and want them, contributing to brighter futures, better schools, and stronger communities for all. We have a need in Homer to make a difference in the lives of our young people. We have students getting into trouble, doing drugs. Some are homeless. Others live with abusive families. They are falling through the cracks. With more adult mentors, I see Big Brothers Big Sisters as a way to start making a real difference for Homer's youth by matching students when they're young, in 2nd or 3rd grade. We have a real need for interested adults to become involved in working with our young people to head off some of the problems that have recently been discussed in the newspapers. Your involvement in a match will change a young person's life. That I can guarantee. Mentorships do work. There are great benefits to being a big. You get to do things you used to do as a kid. This is, by the way, a very powerful and little-known anti-aging tonic that should be shared with every adult in the community. It changes the way you look at youth in the community because you become involved in what your little is doing in school. I went to band concerts, soccer games, track meets, science school presentations, and junior high graduation. You meet your little's friends at school. You gain insight into what the young person is that's growing up in today's world thinks about life and the things that are happening in our community. You get to learn new board games. And doing things together certainly makes the doing more fun, even if it's something mundane that you do every day. It might be something your little has never experienced. And the other thing is, when they get big like this, they can carry your pack. Sharing life experiences, no matter how small the steps are that build, this is what builds a strong relationship. One of the best parts of being matched is watching your little grow up and develop skills and confidence. I'm very proud of all that my friend has accomplished since I have known him. From personal experience, in a match of over 7.5 years, I have seen the power and magic that mentoring has to change a young person's life. Justice has emerged as a student leader, a dynamic speaker, an amazing athlete, a scholar with a huge breadth of knowledge based on his wide range of reading and studying, a philosophical thinker who's adopted a very admirable approach to life, someone who seizes opportunities, has a positive outlook, is caring and involved in his school and community, and is a fun fellow. Justice and I have shared many experiences over our 7.5 years, and most special of all for me is the joy of an incredible friendship with a fellow human being on his journey to adulthood. I am pleased to introduce my special friend, Justice Skye.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program from the Little's point. As a little, I never knew quite what was in store for me in the future. Sure, this is a problem that any child faces, but the difference between them and me is I had the extraordinary advantage of a big named Nina, to help guide me. When I first met Nina, I was extremely shy and not the most social person in the world. I looked up at this stranger with wondering eyes, still not aware of the incredible impact that she was going to have on my life, both as a mentor and a friend. But as time went on, we began to go closer. Time that I would have spent being bored at home now turned into activities that were productive, fun, and that still benefit me today. We began to play sports like baseball and do cross-country skiing, things that I would never have gotten into on my own, but that now seem an incredibly large portion of my life. These led me to participate in more sports that kept me in shape and fill up my spare time. Nina was also a massive help on the academic side of things. Earlier on, she helped me get in touch with my Japanese roots by helping me to learn the basics of the language, a memory that greatly benefits me now as I study and fundraise to represent Homer in Teshio, Japan through the Sister City Exchange this upcoming year. Into middle school, Nina also got me interested in a group called the Alaska Youth for Environmental Action, or AYA. I've been all over the state with the program, learning more every time about what I as an individual can do to make a difference, and furthering my skills in leadership and in public speaking. As we move into high school, I now find myself as president of the program's Homer chapter, as well as being in other Nina suggested programs, such as the high school drama debate and forensics team, in which I am fully qualified for the state tournament. It is things like this which make me feel both lucky and proud to have a big like Nina. But after looking at all my involvement that was brought about with Nina's help, I could not help but see all the empty spaces that would be left in my life if it weren't for her. And that alternative is one that is bleak and negative. If she had not gotten me interested in all that I am now, there is no telling where I would be now or what trouble I would have gotten into. I know as well as anyone that when a teenager has nothing to do, they often fill their time with activities that society wouldn't necessarily deem appropriate. Whether it be stealing, vandalism, or drug abuse, there's absolutely a problem, but the biggest of these is a lack of something to do. If we aren't being productive and having fun, we're going to fall into bad habits. What Nina did for me was giving me something to do with my life, something to make it fun and keep me on a path that is taking me everywhere that I want to be. This is exactly what Big Brothers Big Sisters is about. It is about giving someone a friend who they look up to and who can lead them in the right direction. And throughout my life, Nina has done an excellent job of giving me something to do. Whether it be day-long horseback riding trips or going kayaking across the bay, there's never been a bad day. It even seems like the weather is on our side, giving something at just the right moments to get the best out of whatever it is we're doing. I've even been given the experience of helping to train alpacas in Nina's home. And through all of this, I've learned that there really is always something to do. And that is part of the outlook I've gained after years with Nina. I realized that there is always something to get out there and do. There's always a project to set out on, or something new to try. This is what having a big has taught me to realize. The outlook on life it has given me is amazing, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. In fact, I think that everyone deserves and would benefit from a big in their own life. Any kind of mentor, in fact. That is why I support Big Brothers Big Sisters so much. I would be pleased to see every child with Big, just because it makes such an amazing impact on a child's life, just as it has on mine. Big Brothers Big Sisters and my Big Nina are no doubt the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. Everyone deserves that chance. Thank you.
Good job.